So hopper flow problems are really common, and we can always spot them because you go out on site and you look at the hopper and it's all bang. You can see where they've taken a mallet, rubber mallet, or a hammer and banged on the side. So it's all banged up, and you can okay, there's a discharge issue that they're dealing with. So a couple things it could be have to do with the dust. If you have moisture in your dust and it sticks to the walls and bridges, that can be a problem. So that should be addressed separately, but more specifically to the discharge equipment. So if you have a rotary airlock, for example, the idea is that you have a leak-free, airtight piece of equipment that provides an airtight divider between the hopper, which is at a certain pressure, and the atmosphere below the hopper, which is at regular standard atmospheric pressure. What can sometimes happen is your rotary airlock, which is a little rotor, it has tips on it, sometimes made from different materials, but they're designed to have a really tight clearance to maintain that leak-free, airtight operation. So the dust falls through, but the air basically stays at its pressure. When those tips wear out, air rushes through there. It becomes a leak source. So now you have air that's coming through your rotary airlock in the wrong direction, and it can cause things to bridge and make it difficult for that dust to discharge out the bottom. So just general condition of your airlocks. Same goes for screw conveyors, although they're a little easier, a little more forgiving on that regard, because the stuff just falls into the screw and gets pushed out. But specifically with rotary airlocks, you've got to make sure they're tight and they're operating properly. They have to be designed to the right capacity. So if you're overloading them, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And then generally there's a few things, little tools that you can use to help get things through the hopper, like vibrators, and worst case, you could weld some strike plates on there. So if you're going to be banging on it with a rubber mallet, at least you have a welded thick gauge piece that you're not going to be denting in the hopper. But that's the most common thing we see.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Scott, what about,
yeah,
yeah, I was just gonna say, what about at the last couple of places we went, we had problems with the hopper. What was that? Mind sharing that?
yeah. Sometimes people think that the hopper is supposed to be full, or that there's supposed to be material always within the hopper. The hopper is obviously designed to be able to collect the dust. It does fulfill that purpose, but only on a very temporary timeline, only until it can be released through the airlock, right? Some places we go to, yeah, you open up the dirty side, and then where the hopper is, it just spills dust. That's a huge hazard if it's anything that could start on fire, obviously. And if the dust is accumulating so much within that hopper, it's obviously not allowing the air to go through that airlock to be discharged correctly. So that could be one of the issues right there, right off the bat, as to why the dust collector isn't working correctly. Some places also, they have so much buildup in the hopper that it's actually pushing the filters and the cages up out of the tube sheet. That obviously is going to be a huge issue. That's going to affect the performance of the bakehouse. So like Matt was saying, we want to definitely keep an eye on things. We want to do things, respectively as well. We don't want to just bang on the hopper and completely, smash it to pieces. But we definitely want to keep an eye on things as well, so we avoid buildup and things like that.